To do a video for people who may be hurting, people who may feel like they're at their wits' end. Mental health is very important, and being able to find a source, a positive outlet is vital. Sometimes life can make you feel like giving up. Life can make you feel like you want to throw in your towel. Some of you listening to this may know what that means, may know what that feels like. And so for me, last year, I got to the bottom of my rope, and a few things happened. I was isolated. I had spent the last couple of years just trying to make things happen. Trying to get some level of success, trying to be able to, just make it happen. So, I guess it's been a 2-year journey in this situation. Ended up getting in trouble, never really had any kind of criminal stuff before, and ended up catching an assault charge in West Texas. And it was a scenario where I'm protecting myself, but it didn't work out for me, and that would be the thing that changed my life. I wasn't able to get a job. I kept hearing no. I would apply. Either it was you're overqualified, or because of your background, and it didn't matter that it was just one scenario on this background. And, that put me in a scenario where I had to sleep in the car. And so, the first year was okay. I was trying to do what I can do, applying and trying to continue to speak, continue to write. I'm doing these motivational videos on TikTok, and nobody knows that I'm struggling day to day. And a lot of times I'm talking to myself, doing these messages where people are saying that what they heard was life-changing for them. And I think most people didn't realize that I was probably at the end of my rope. But, I was like, I'm gonna just keep pouring out, and I'm gonna keep trying to push into other people's life. And somewhere along the line, it's gonna break forth for me. And so, sleeping in a car in Texas is a beast. And, nobody knew. You look at me, I look clean, and, I would just try to do everything legal that I could to try to get myself up and where I needed to be. And in that moment, also, I wanted to reconnect with my children. And so, trying to put that effort forth, and just overall trying to be a better person. I think evolving is important. You don't have to stay where you are. And in that process, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be hard. And so during the time I really didn't date, I met a few people, but really didn't want to get in a situation where I was depending on somebody else to take care of me. And so I did everything I could to try to stand on my own 2 feet. And, tried everything from, government assistance and everything in between. And it's just like I kept hearing no and kept hearing no. And somewhere along the line, it's like almost God himself was silent. And I felt like for a while, like, okay, this is, it's the developing of me. It's making me better, And when that second year rolled around, it just really took a toll. Sometimes you can be in a situation and you can see your way out. You can get in a situation and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so by that second year for me, the light was very dim. And I would talk to my cousin, and he would say, Elgin, you used to be so faithful, and you used to be so full of energy, and we, you were always like, you can make it, and You always did that. And so he knew that my light was becoming more dim. People who didn't know me regularly didn't know that. And so I'm still smiling, hiding behind the smile, hiding behind the positive messages. But on the inside, I'm slowly dying. And, you get to a spot to where you don't even feel like you know if God is still with you. And, failure after failure, I'm attempting, I'm writing books and I'm trying all of these things, and, I'm not having great success. So around Christmas time, I just had enough. I was trying to make some things happen. It was something about a book or something. And I just felt like this was it, Even as that Christian guy, I was like, F it, And I felt like I was just invisible. I felt like nobody understood me. And I really didn't reach out to a lot of people. There was a lot of shame there. Didn't tell too many people the story. Because I'm trying to man up and I'm trying to make it happen. And along the way, I would find, certain odd and end jobs and things like that, because I was always trying to do it. And so I think sometimes that's the trick of the enemy, to keep you feeling isolated, make you feel like nobody is rocking with you and nobody cares. So I decided to take my life. I was like, I'm done with this. And I was real scared. I was really afraid, because I knew inside of me that I was going to really do this because I didn't care no more. And the whole year, a part of me had become reckless. Like, I didn't care about my life. I didn't care if somebody would, take my life. When COVID came around, I was low-key upset, because I was like, I wish I would just catch it and die, because nobody gonna care. Nobody gonna miss me. I'm this, you keep hearing no, and you keep hearing no. And, you can go to church and put this mask on, and nobody cared enough to even ask how your true feelings were, or how my true feelings were. And it's nobody's obligation. I'm not saying that people are obligated to be psychics and know everything that you're going through. But if you are going to get out of a dark place, you're going to have to be able to speak. And so that's what this message is all about, because if my story could stop or save one person, then it was all worth it, So I decided to do it. And I wrote this letter because I wanted to try to leave some type of explanation for my children, my cousin. I wanted to leave some kind of reasoning why. And so I wrote this letter, and I drove to this fast food place. I was like, man, I'm gonna just eat my last meal or whatever. And, it was really, really, here it is, I'm 6'3", 290 on a good day. And I'm in this booth crying hard, and nobody said nothing. Nobody stopped. And for me, I was like, my purpose for this life I don't mean anything no more. And so my biggest fear, though, was what was going to happen after this trigger is pulled, where I'm going to be, I believe in life after death. And my biggest thing was I didn't want to not make it to heaven because of this. So I'm begging God to forgive me and to understand. And I leave and I drive to like this parking lot that I know has a lot of traffic. So, I guess my body can be found. And, I have my gun in my hand and I'm just, a lot of things are going through my mind. I unlocked my doors in my car. So, I'm holding this gun in my hand. And I'm just going back and forth. And things started, I'm looking at the gun and I start noticing things that I normally wouldn't notice. And, I've been kind of looking at like the power of numbers. And I noticed that there was like these 7 specifics on this weapon. And I knew that the 7 was God's number. And so a part of me knew that this final 7 completion, that this is it. But just as I'm about to pull this trigger, I forget. I'm like, I didn't send this thing out. Because I wanted my cousin to find my laptop because I had a lot of work in there that I wanted to get out, even after I was gone. And so I took my phone off of airplane mode real fast to send this out. And before I got it back off, it was just like an intervention. And in that moment, I knew that there was still more for me. And it was still something to do. And I know that it was just the mercy of God that I'm still here today, because it could have went another way very, very quickly. And sometimes you can feel like you at the bottom. You can feel like your life is not what God wanted it to be, or you could feel like it was a mistake, or you could feel like you've been struggling forever. I get it. Been there. Sometimes this life has a way of identifying you with your mistake, or this life has a way of connecting any mistake that you made with a new identity for you. And if things don't go your way, it's very easy to get stuck in that. As I imagined putting this gun in my mouth, it was like, why? And the thing is, it was perpetual. Throughout the whole year, it was just a buildup. And I was just alone. I didn't reach out for help. I didn't think nobody wanted to know what was happening. And so it was after every small little infraction, and when I mean infraction, I mean just contemplating suicide, thinking about it, fantasizing about it, just like giving up, but you still walking. It was a process. It didn't just happen for me. There was months that led up to me actually holding this gun, about to pull the trigger. It was months of just depression, feeling like nobody really cared. And I want you to know that your life is worth living, and that there's a plan and a purpose for you, even if you can't see it, even if you don't know it, if you can't articulate it in this moment, if you can't fathom why God would allow you to go through everything that you've been through, and yet you're still here watching this video right now, it's for a purpose. It's for a reason. And so we need you to reach out. Don't try to fight it alone. You might be strong for a little while, but this is a heavyweight battle. And so you're going to have to call in for help. You're going to have to reach out for a helping hand. And so I know that at the end of the day, nothing about your life is by happenstance. Nothing about who you are is without a purpose or a reason. And you have to get to that before you take your exodus out of here. So again, it was very hard to do this. And, you know, there was embarrassment after writing this letter and sending it out. And the first thing my mind was like is, oh man, people, listen, don't let shame stop you. Don't let the fear of what people will think and or say cause you to make a decision that you can't change. So many times we make permanent decisions because of temporary situations. I don't know how long I would have been in this scenario or situation, but I know that it won't last my entire life. And I was ready to make a split decision that I couldn't take back. So we need you to get your help. We need you to do everything you can to stay here with us. We need to hear your amazing stories, your talents, your gifts, the things that God has put inside of you that only you can do the way that you can do. So again, I just wanted to share my story, and I hope that it brings light to someone else. Peace.